Hey my scrappy mavens, welcome to the first tutorial in the premium for the May kit. For this kit we are going to be using this magenta Dina Wakley spray. This is in the media kit for this month. So it's going to be super fun. And we're also going to be using a stencil. I'm using the stencil that's in the mixed media kit club. This is the stencil that will, I'm hoping that we can have this stencil ready in the store later. But this is just a thinner paper, stencil paper. Anyway, I want to use this on part of my background. And so I thought it'd be fun to show a couple of different ways that you can use the stencil, and you can use any kind of stencil. So grab a stencil and let's get going. I have my background already gessoed up, so as you can see, it has the white already on there. And today we're going to spray, and I'm going to cover up part of this because I want to show you how I contain my media when I don't want it getting all over. So because I don't want it to get on this spot, because I want to spray that spot again, right? So shake up your spray. Now there's a whole lot of ways that you can use a spray, and generally I don't actually do this very often, but I thought that this would be really fun because I'm going to pair it with this and create a really fun soft background. So I'm just going to spray a couple times, 2-3 times, and I'm going to let this sit for a second before I pick it up, because I want that pattern to kind of settle in where the stencil is, and I don't want to move it around yet. And after I do this, I'm going to then spray or use my heat gun to set this side so that when I do the other side, it's not so bad. Now, this other page, since I have it here, I'm going to use this other side. This actually would be a great time to put this in a art journal or something, but I'm just going to add it to here, and I'm just going to lightly press it down. So it's not going to show the stencil too much, but I think it'll create some fun spots. Now, because this is a thicker spray, this is a gloss spray, it does kind of adhere to both sides a little bit. And then I'm going to clean this up, I think. So I'll be back and we will hit this with the heat gun, and then we will move on. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do, or I'm going to do, is add some of this Lavender Kisses dye ink on the page like watercolor. And I'm going to focus on the outsides so that it looks, so that this part is clear of the watercolor-ish. And I kind of want to make it so that this harsh line isn't here, but I still want this to be a band so that when I build my layout, I can build stuff here on top of it. Now, one thing I want to remind you that this is acrylic paint spray, so it is going to act differently than this. So be aware of that, and let's grab some water, and I'm going to grab a paintbrush. I really like to use a big flat or a big round brush when I'm doing watercolor, and I'm going to just kind of let it sit in here for a minute. Because I added gesso, that's going to help things move, and I might put this on the side a little bit to kind of mix in so that it looks more cohesive. So watch while I work through this. Okay, so I want to talk through this part because I think it'll be a little bit more helpful for you guys to know what I'm doing. But I know that when I was doing the editing and audio, the auto in this isn't that great, and I'm not really talking, so I'm not telling you what I'm doing. So I put a little bit of that reinker on the side, and then I'm dropping some of the reinker. I'm only working on the bottom half first because I don't want this to dry really, and it shouldn't, but it does start to dry as soon as you drop it, right? So I am just making blobs, if you will, with my paintbrush. I'm going to add some water depending on how dark I want it to be. Or how like thick I want this liquid to be, because a reinker, it's ink, and it is a little bit thicker than obviously than water. I do want to be aware of the fact of where I'm putting things, of what the blobs kind of look like. I'm not trying to be super particular. I also now am working on putting some splatters, but just minimal, because I know I'm going to add this glossy spray. And like I mentioned earlier, this is acrylic paint, so it's much thicker, and it does have a gloss finish, so it's not going to be matte entirely. And I'm going to mix this in with the water, the reinker that I added water to it. And I do have to pour this a couple times. I'm only doing a little bit at a time because I don't want too much, because then I have to figure out a way to use it. Even though I know I'm doing both sides, it's just easier to add than to take away. And I'm just adding, and I also picked two colors that I knew were going to go well together. When I mix purple and pink together, it's not going to end up as a weird color. That can happen sometimes. And depending on what you would like to happen, or the result that you want to get, will depend on how you mix colors. But I wanted to mix two colors that I knew would kind of go together and blend together. And I am going to use my heat gun to dry it up a little bit. This way I get to have it dry in the areas that I want it to dry. Also, I like the way it looks when the water pulls up or down or moves in those spots. It's not going to go outside of where I originally put these blobs, if you will, too much. There is times where it will if you're going too fast, so I'm being gentle. I'm also not keeping my heat gun in the same spot because I don't want it to burn the product. I don't want it to burn underneath. Now, I did have to wipe my mat because the condensation from that liquid, it's liquid and it's still liquid. And so now I'm going to work on the bottom side or the next side, and I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to do something similar, and I'll just let you guys watch me as I do this. Okay, so this is how I'm going to leave it. And like I said, I want this to be the main spot. So when I'm adding things later, I will, oh, actually, hold on. I didn't do any splatters on this side like I did. So we're going to add just a little bit more Reinkers. And the Reinkers I really enjoy because it is very similar to like how a watercolor works. So you can get some really pretty, I just want to put a few splatters. I'll probably put a few more on this side just to kind of even it out. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of this pink and splatter. Now you could go in and kind of hit a few of these And I feel like sometimes that helps. With that watercolory look, because you don't just have like a whole lot of splatters without it kind of looking. And I just hit it with the paintbrush just a little so it kind of spreads them out, and then I just leave it. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to let it dry overnight so that it is nice and dry when I want to go and add the next layer.